When we compare and contrast European and American culture, we are met with a very stark contrast. America is a very individualist nation. We're also a very open society, which is why we are very tolerant. We're very welcoming. We're very sweet people. This has also led to a bit of our downfall. It's made us to be too welcoming to, let's say, newcomers. It's allowed the newcomers to come in and take over the house. So let's learn today a little bit from Europa, the old world country defined by collectivism, adherence to traditional systems and values and traditions. They have also a very high respect for hierarchy, something that we don't have in American culture. In American society, in fact, the common has been uplifted, and the successful and the exceptional has been looked down on and scoffed. This is something that I think has been a very big contributing factor as to why America is in this form of decay right now. We're watching our nation collapse. We're watching our people collapse because we don't have a sense of community. But this kind of mindset has, again, led to our downfall. That's why the lowest of the low have now been elevated to influence and permeate our culture. Hip-hop, for example, has absolutely dominated the cultural scene. It's influenced our fashion sense, it's influenced our music taste, and influences our life and our respect for not only ourselves, but our collective interest as a nation. And you see that this has not served us well at all. When there's no unity, no order, and all chaos, you live in a country that we live in today, where the streets are crime-ridden, where it's not safe to ride the trains anymore, and where you don't feel a pride in your country or yourself. So today what I want to do is I want to help the American people and myself, because I've got a lot of work to do as well, trying to make ourselves more presentable so that we will not only respect ourselves, but we can build a new generation of people that instead of looking down on the successful, instead of looking down on the elite, on the aristocratic, we actually inspire to emulate that. Because with aristocracy comes beautiful homes, a sense of order, a sense of heritage, and a sense of respect for yourself and your country. So today let's get into 10 ways that you can help improve your life, make yourself feel more aristocratic, because the American aristocrat, although beaten down, can still rise again. So I've compiled a list here of our 10 ways that we can improve ourselves. We can reclaim our old world dignity. We can put our collective nationalist interests at hand, and we can help fix this country before it's too late by just fixing ourselves, our bearing, how we speak, how we present ourselves, and how we train the next generation. Number 1. We need to learn to master self-restraint while in public. We can learn how to speak softer, laugh quieter, eat slower, and enjoy our meals as though they are part of a ritual of a beautiful tradition that's been passed down for generations and generations, rather than just a means to an end. I'm hungry, so thus I eat. I'm kind of peckish, so now I'm going to get a snack. This is no good. Another thing you want to work on is let's not broadcast our emotions on social media. Now, if you follow me on X, you'll see that I am very vocal there. But I'm going to try to tone that down, because is that serving my best interest? Or is that just self-indulgent? Is that just me being like in the heat of the moment, in the passion of the moment, putting out something that I might regret later? This is not a good sign of class, and it's going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt you in the long run. The aristocrat is defined by their means of subtle insinuation, plausible deniability, and always saying things in an indirect way, as opposed to Americans who are very direct, loud, and bombastic. There's nothing left to the imagination there. Sometimes you also give too much away. You have to signal superiority by not broadcasting this idea that you're needy or less than. And this is by caging your emotions, keeping your emotions in check, always keeping a calm appearance, always remaining master of your emotions, and never giving away too much. So you speak softly, you laugh quietly, and you enjoy your food slowly, like it's a tradition and a ritual. Number 2, we have to dress one step above our station every time. You never want to appear at an occasion where you're underdressed. This doesn't present yourself in a position where you would be respected. You want to command respect whenever you walk into a room. And one of the easiest ways to do that is make sure you're always dressed correctly. Instead of showing up in hoodies and a sneaker, or even worse, suits and a sneaker, maybe consider wearing a pair of slacks, a blazer, and a crisp, buttoned-down shirt. For the ladies, you can wear a nice dress. I think women should move more into wearing dresses. They're not only more comfortable, but they're more flattering. Number 3, we have to work on our dinner table manners. A good way of doing this and cultivating relationships with your family, your neighbors, and your friends is to host weekly or monthly dinner parties. Lots of people in Europe still do this, and this is why they have, again, a strong sense of community. They're not lonely. Americans have a loneliness epidemic. We sit at home, we have me time. This is not how we were designed as human beings, and we can do better than this. If we want a strong society, if we want a cohesive unity within our people, we have to feel like we know each other. We have to feel like we can respond to one another and talk to one another. Despite being a nation of small talk where we can never let any silence adhere us from speaking, yet we seem to be more isolated than ever. So host a dinner party, have nice table napkins, have candles out, and practice impeccable manners. This is going to elevate you, it's going to make you feel better, and it will also influence the people that you invite over. And hopefully we can start a trend of reviving actual dinners and dinner parties again, a tradition that is very prominent in Europe, but sadly has been lost in the United States due to the fast food society and utilitarian means of eating. It's unhealthy, and it's not good for your overall well-being and respect for yourself. Number 4, let's try to cultivate family heirlooms and really get in touch with our heritage. America's a new country, and while Europeans seem to have crests, they have dynasties, they have aristocratic lines, good lineage, and they know their breeding, America doesn't have any of this. It's always out with the old and in with the new, and thus we don't have anything to really hold on to. If you're not in touch with your heritage, if you don't have a strong family structure, how are you supposed to persist in society? This is why Americans in general do not have collective wealth. They've not been able to accumulate family wealth, family resources, and family heirlooms, because it's not seen as anything special in American society. This is why we don't have anything of meaning in our homes. So this is a time when you can get your great-grandmother's silver out and appreciate heirlooms from the past, because this is really what connects you to your country. It's what grounds you. It's what makes you an American. It's what makes you truly a member of this society. And if we have a collective group of people that are in tune with their heritage, in tune with their family, they're strong and they have a sense of loyalty to each other, that will work in the collective as well. If every family starts doing this, then those families will be bonded by that unity that they all share. They all share family heirlooms. They have paintings that's been passed down for generations. They have antique furniture that's been passed down. And this is something we don't see in American society, but I think it can be very helpful in the long run. Along those same lines, we need to replace consumerism with curation. Again, like I was saying, instead of buying a new piece from IKEA that's going to break in an hour, get a piece from an antique store. Get a piece from a local craftsman. Get a piece that's going to mean something, that's going to be timeless, and that you can pass down to your generations. Like I was saying in the earlier point, we don't really pass things down. Families don't have inheritances to pass on to their future generations. It's every man for himself in this society. And look where it's landed us. It's not a very great place we're in. Families are fragmented. They're all over the country. They're encouraged to leave the home as soon as possible and start their own thing. And so resources are never collected. Thus, people are very dependent on the system, rather than being interdependent with their family and their community. Point number 6, we need to reclaim our poise and general carriage. Now, this can be done by doing sports that encourage good posture, horseback riding lessons, fencing lessons. I know that's a novelty, but it does occur in the United States still. taking ballroom dancing. All of these arts not only put you in society that is better, it also helps you make new friends, create new communities, but it helps with your overall poise and posture, because this is extremely important. If you're going into a meeting, to a job interview, or simply meeting with new people, the way you position yourself in society is often gauged by how you position your actual body. Your poise, your gestures, how you move about, how you walk. Do you have confidence? Do you walk well? Do you stand well? Or do you sit there and fidget, which sort of gives away that you are not confident and that you don't have anything to hold on to? The subtlety of confidence and the power of poise is very underestimated in our society. People slouch. People don't stand up with pride because we don't have anything to be proud of. But we can change that, and you can change that by changing the way you present yourself and changing your posture. Number 7, and this is a point that I've always thought in the United States. Each family needs to develop their own code of honor. Loyalty to one another is extremely important. This is what old families in Europe and old families in America that still remain have. You have a sense of loyalty to your collective. You have a sense of loyalty to your family. This is why families who have this sort of honor code last. This is why the aristocracy has lasted. You don't gossip. You don't tell tales. You don't air your dirty laundry. You keep that private because you have a respect for your family. You defend your family's honor. You defend yourself. And a good way of doing this is to write down a list of boundaries you have, of rules you want to stick to, and stick to them aggressively. Do not let anything slide, because that is respect for yourself, that is respect for boundaries, and people will see that you're not a pushover, you're not mean, you're not aggressive, but you will not be trampled upon because you've earned that respect. Because you've curated in yourself a sense of honor, and this sense of honor will overlap into the rest of society. We used to live in a country where handshakes meant something, where your word of honor meant something. When you said, yes, this is what I'm going to do, you would show up and do that. So even if it's an inconvenience to you, don't break your word and have a sense of honor. Number 8, speak and write with precision and eloquence. This can be done by reading a lot. If you read books from the 19th century, this is going to help elevate your speech, especially if you read them aloud. It'll help retrain your ear. Since we've been influenced by the lowest of the low and the worst common denominators of our culture, we've also began speaking like them. We've begun to speak in a very common, coarse way. This is influenced by our music, by the media we watch, and by, frankly, the art, the fashion, and the culture of our society, which again has been influenced by the lowest common denominator. You can do this by writing letters instead of always texting people or sending an email. Everyone loves to get a letter in the mail. It not only helps you with your own handwriting, but it helps you with articulating what you want to say in a well-meaning way. It's also a very polite thing to do if you've been invited to a dinner, if you've been invited anywhere, if somebody's done you a good deed. A nice way of repaying that is by sending a handwritten letter on good paper, good sturdy paper. This is an art that we've lost in America, and if we could reclaim this again, it'll not only help you to speak well, but it'll also help you articulate your points clearer and in a way that conveys your actual thoughts to people. Number 9, build and protect local institutions. So this could mean joining a local gun club, a historical society, any sort of club. It's a good thing to be invested in local institutions. Institutional power is extremely valuable. If you want to change policy, if you want to change the culture, and you want to change politics, you infiltrate society. You infiltrate the institutions, or you start your own institutions. We don't really know much about our history in America. It's been either intentionally suppressed or simply willfully ignored. And this is wrong. If you want to be proud of your country, if you want to be proud of your heritage, and you want the collective interest to be intent on preserving that heritage and preserving that culture and preserving your country, you have to make sure that people know their history. Look into your genealogy. Look into your family history and be proud of it. And if you're not proud of it, change it. This is an important one. We have to put our collective survival over our own personal convenience. Again, like I was saying, something that defines American culture is the fact that we are very individualistic. But I think we need to start being a little bit more collectivistic, because if you haven't noticed, everyone else is except for us. And whose culture is being replaced and whose culture is being lost? Well, it's ours, because we think as an individual rather than a unit, rather than a united force, a united front. We have to start supporting policies that actually favor Americans, whether it's in housing, finance, laws, things like that. If it supports legacy Americans, and I think you know what I mean when I say legacy Americans, those are the policies you should be voting for. Even though it may have consequences for you in the short term, we have to start thinking more long-term about these things. When it comes to hiring and firing people, give priority to your countrymen. Give priority to legacy Americans. Why would you choose cheap labor over your own interest? Why would you choose cheap labor over your countrymen? This is a way that may affect you in the short term. You may not make as many profits, but in the long term, it's going to help with that collective interest. And it's going to help you build that strong nation that cannot just be taken over by the first person who tries to come along and do that. Stream music. Listen to classical music. Sit quietly and listen to that and ponder and think about your country and think about what you want to see your country become. We can't always be progressives. We don't always want to embrace the brand new thing, because generally the brand new thing is never as good as the old. So I think tapping into our old world traditions and remembering who we truly are is a very important way of rebuilding the culture that we are about to lose, because we are losing it very quickly. With that being said, if you do consistently employ these 10 steps, it's going to affect your life in a positive way. You're going to garner respect when you walk into a room. Your ancestors will be proud of you, and that's something we have to think of. We can't always just think about ourselves. We have to also think about, would this make my ancestors who built this country proud? And how is this going to impact future generations? I don't think we think enough about our future generations, and that's why we've lost our society and our culture, because we've raised children in homes thinking that our heritage doesn't matter. Throw away the family land, sell it off, it doesn't matter. Throw away family heirlooms, that's just gross. We gotta get away from that mindset and start thinking more as a collective rather than as an individual. This individualist mindset has been a double-edged sword. While it built us into a resilient nation, while it built this great country, it also made us not really care about the future generations. It made us not care about the unity and the general overall health of our nation. We have to start thinking as a nation, as a people, as opposed to a selfish, self-indulgent person. And those are my 10 tips for how you can make yourself more of an American aristocrat. We shouldn't be looking down on that. We should look on that with reverence. We should look on hierarchy as something that's earned, that's respectable. I think we give away our respect too freely. I think respect needs to be earned, and I think people need to start earning our respect again. But if you want people to respect you, if you want to command respect, and if you want your nation to be globally respected again, it starts at home, it starts with you, and it starts by implementing things that is going to elevate you and make you more of a person that is worthy of the ancestors that died and sweated for this land that you live on now.